Welcome back to the Diamond Breakdown. Today we will be breaking down New York Yankees ace Cam Schlittler. This is Cam Schlittler's first full year in the majors after getting a handful of starts last season. This season he has really shown why the Yankees have so much trust in him. Cam Schlittler has also been in the conversation for both the American League Cy Young Award and the NL Rookie of the Year, which it looks like he will have locked up if he doesn't sustain a major injury in the back half of the season. We're going to start just going through Cam Schlittler's percentiles here on Baseball Savant, and you see a lot of red here. The main thing with Cam Schlittler is he does not rely heavily on a breaking ball. The way he is doing this is he is throwing 3 different types of fastballs over 15% of the time. You see the 4-seam fastball here, which he averages 97.8 miles per hour. He has the cutter, which he throws 28% of the time, which is slightly slower than the 4-seam fastball, averages 94.1 miles per hour, and he throws a sinker 18% of the time, which is closer in velocity to the 4-seam fastball, at 97.3 miles per hour. We notice here that his fastball run value is actually in the 100th percentile. His overall pitching run value is also in the 100th percentile, meaning he has the best fastballs and he has the best pitching run value in the entire league. This is just how dominant he's been this season. As I said, he doesn't rely on his breaking pitches as much. He's only in the 29th percentile in breaking run value. His breaking pitches, which can be seen here, are the curveball, which he throws 6% of the time, 84 miles per hour, which is about 10 miles per hour lower than his 4-seam fastball. And he throws a slider only 2% of the time at 89.4 miles per hour. Another reason for Schlittler's dominance is his control and his ability to not walk hitters. His base on ball percentage, or his walk percentage, is in the 94th percentile at 5.1%. Jumping over to my very own app that I created on Streamlit using Python, I coded this myself to analyze pitcher velocity over time, mainly to predict injury risk. However, we can still use this to visualize his dominance and why he is pitching so well this season. So here we just put in 2026 in the regular season, just put in Cam Schlittler. We're going to put a rolling average at 5 games. I like that best for the visual effects, so the lines are pretty smooth. And a risk flag threshold, we're not going to look at that as much. Injury is a big factor in pitchers, especially these days with increased velocity and increased movement. But that's not the main point of looking at Cam Schlittler's dominance. We're going to display his 5 main pitches that we discussed on the Baseball Savant page, that being his 4-seam fastball, his 2 fastball variations, the cutter and the sinker, and then his 2 off-speed pitches, the slider and the curveball. If we go down to his velocity trends, we see all of his velocities are pretty stable. The sinker and the 4-seam fastball have similar velocity, but their movement profiles are different, making it hard for hitters to choose between them. And the pitches move a lot. Here we have the cutter, which is right below the 4-seam, but the cutter is about 4 miles per hour lower than the 4-seam fastball and the sinker, which is enough variance for hitters' timing to be obstructed. It still uses velocity to get swing and miss versus just movement. Here we have the slider, which averages around 89-90 miles per hour, 89.6 miles per hour to be exact. That is significantly lower than his 2 fastest fastballs, about 10 miles per hour lower, which gives a lot of trouble to hitters, but he does not throw it that much. If I was a hitter against him, you'd be sitting fastball, and if he gets a really good slider that fools you, you sometimes just have to, cut your losses. Right now, hitters aren't hitting the fastball, so even if they're sitting on it, they can't hit it. Here we see the curveball, which is significantly lower than the fastballs and every other pitch he throws. We hear that he's actually stopped implementing it into his pitch mix after his start on May 8th. That could be strategic. He could notice, maybe he doesn't need a curveball. Some pitchers, notably Ben Brown, have needed to add an extra pitch to become more dominant. But you could see Cam Schlittler, maybe he's reducing the pitches, and that makes the fastball more dominant. That is something the Yankees are probably experimenting with. There's no risk zones detected within that 1.5 mile per hour baseline, which is very good news. You see a healthy fluctuation in his velocity. Now we're going to move over to these advanced analytics charts, which are also generated on this Diamond Breakdown app on Streamlit, which I will put in the description of this video so you guys can check it out for yourselves, put in any pictures you guys want. It's a really useful tool, and I love all these visuals. Very easy to read, very easy to understand. In this chart, we see the spin rate over time. The slider and the curveball obviously have the most spin rate. His sinker has noticeably less spin rate than the rest of his pitches. With his cutter and four-seam fastball, similar spin rate. And you see the fluctuations. They all kind of move together. We see this little dip back in April, but no injury concerns from that little dip. Here we see the horizontal break of his pitches, and that is side to side. We can also see that better here. So this is from the pitcher's point of view. So this would be towards the right, which would be the inside of the batter's box for a righty, right? So if a righty stood here, the pitches would be moving in towards them, and these pitches would be moving away from them. So we see the sinker is just more dramatic movement than the fastball. So the vertical break, when it's positive, is in relation to what the batter is expecting. So the batter will expect a pitch with no movement to land here perfectly. So that means that his fastball has about 17 inches of less break. Or for the batter, it looks like it's a rise in the pitch, right? His curveball is actually the only pitch that has a vertical break downwards. Obviously, curveballs have that sort of look, they dip down. Both the cutter and the slider have movement towards the righties, and the fastball and the sinker have movement away from the righties. So this is why he can use 3 different fastballs all effectively. They all have 3 different movement profiles. Here are the 3 fastballs he uses the most. The sinker has the most movement outward. The fastball is pretty straight, but it still has 5 inches of horizontal break, which is significant. And then the cutter is actually opposite from both of those pitches. It actually breaks the other way. That can give hitters a lot of trouble if they're sitting on this pitch, but then they get this pitch, similar velocity, don't have time to adjust. That'll be hard to hit. Here again, his pitch usage mix. Again, we see his four-seam fastball, his cutter, and his sinker. Very high usage. His curveball and his slider, not as much usage. Lastly, we're going to review his AI injury risk assessment. This is also generated by the Streamlit app I created. It's created a generative AI algorithm that I put in there to analyze the risk. So it says, Cam Schlittler's pitch data suggests a healthy profile, which is significant, with no risk zones flagged and no IL stints in the current period, indicating a clean bill of health. His four-seam fastball velocity is sitting at 97.8, just above his baseline, while slider and cutter velocities are also near their respective baselines at 89.4 miles per hour and 94.1 miles per hour. Notably, his sinker velocity is 0.2 miles per hour below his baseline. This is a minor deviation, does not appear to be cause for concern, especially given the lack of any notable velocity fluctuations or IL history. Overall, Cam Schlittler presents as a low risk due to his stable pitch velocities and lack of injury history. This low risk profile for Cam Schlittler is actually really important for the Yankees, who have dealt with tons of injuries to their starting pitchers. Over just the last 3 years, Carlos Rodon has been out with injury. Garrett Cole, of course, coming off Tommy John, just made his first start of the season yesterday. Looks strong, but we never know with aging pitchers who throw fast. They get a lot of arm injuries, which was the point of this app that I created here. Also, Max Fried is currently on the IL, so the Yankees are really relying on Cam Schlittler to step it up, and he really has. I hope you enjoyed this diamond breakdown of Cam Schlittler and his dominance as he seeks to become both the AL Rookie of the Year and has a shot at the AL Cy Young. If you want to explore the Streamlit app for yourself, I will drop the link down in the description of this video. Please like and subscribe for more baseball content on everything pitcher analysis, pitcher injury prediction, and everything else baseball related. I hope you have a great day. This is the Diamond Breakdown.